Pandora FMS monitoring with server plugins. Welcome to Pandora FMS channel. In this video we will explain how to add a server plugin, but first we need to know what it is. A server plugin or remote plugin is a program or script executed by the server we give a series of parameters to and which returns a simple value. With this option you may implement any type of operation and through some input parameters customize how you want that application to behave. The result could be a number, a boolean value, or a text string, but always keeping in mind that these plugins will return a single value. For your Pandora FMS server to use these plugins, go to the configuration file from the terminal at etc pandoraserver.conf and look for the plugin server line, making sure it is uncommented and with the parameter set to 1. In case you have to modify the line, restart the server with the command that you see on screen. Once checked, you will see where they are located. Server plugins are located at USR Share Pandora Server Util plugin, so it is advisable to save them here, all the ones you create. This is not totally necessary since just having them in any location of the system where the server is located or on any computer with remote access is fine, but to keep things organized we save them here in this path. When creating a plugin, it is advisable to also add a brief help to know how to use it and understand how it works. We see this simply by executing it without entering parameters or adding -h or -help. For example, the following plugin is used to know if a UDP port is open, using a map to find out. It supports two parameters, target IP -t and target port -p. It is a boolean plugin and will return 0 when the port is not open and 1 when it is. If you try to run it, you see that port 162 is open, but 1134 is not. Once we have our plugin, just register it. There are two ways, through manual installation or through the files in PZPZ or PZPZ2 format. This file installs the scripts on the system and registers the plugin automatically. If you choose the first option, go to Pandora FMS console and in the menu go to Servers Plugins. Once there, click on Add and fill in the data. First, the name that will be displayed on the console. Then the type. It can be standard or Nagios. In the case of the former, there are scripts that execute actions and support parameters. However, Nagios ones return an error level to indicate whether the test was successful or not. If you want to use the Nagios plugin and obtain a piece of data, not a status, good or bad, you can use the Nagios plugin in standard mode. The timeout field indicates the plugin's expiration time. If no response is received within that time, the module will be checked as unknown and its value will not be updated. This point must be taken into account when implementing monitoring with plugins, since if the time it takes to execute the plugin is higher than this number, you will never be able to obtain values with it. It should always be higher than the time it normally takes the script used as a plugin to return a value. If you set 0, the value indicated in the configuration as plugin_timeout will be used. In the next section, indicate the path where the plugin is hosted, always bearing in mind that the server will execute that script, so it must have access and execution permissions on it. Next, add a string with the plugin parameters that will go after the command and a blank space. This field accepts macros such as _field1_ or _field2_, etc. Finally, it is possible to add macros to use them in the plugin parameters field. These macros will appear as text fields in the module configuration. The second option that we discussed earlier was registering plugins using files in the PSPZ or PSPZ2 format. The PSPZ is a zip file with PSPZ or PSPZ2 extension that contains at least two files, the script, with the files that the plugin needs to work, and a file called plugin_definition ini. The file plugin _definition.ini contains the specification of the plugin and the modules that can be used with said plugin to add them to the library. It houses the definition of the complete interface, and when it is installed through the console, it copies the plugin to a disk directory. In there, the same fields that are shown in the plugin manual registration form are indicated. To add these types of files, go to the console menu and Servers, Register Plugin. Once there, just upload the file that you downloaded from Pandora FMS library, where you may find some plugins with these features. In addition to registration ease, we save a lot of time and the plugin is fully explained by its creator, operation, parameters, etc. Once we have done one of these options, you may use the plugin in the agent you choose, for which we go to the agent view and in the upper right menu click on Manage and then on the section to add modules. In Type, choose the option Create a new plugin server module and click on Create. In the window you see afterwards, choose the plugin section, the one that corresponds to the information you want to show in a module. When selecting one, in this case UDP port check, the two fields that must be filled in with the IP and the destination port to check will be enabled. Finally, indicate a name for the module and select the type of data. In this case, numerical because we expect this type, but if the result were a word, we would choose generic string. With these fields filled in, the next step is to click Create and wait for an interval to go by so that it returns the result in a module that you can see in the agent's view. And that was it for today's video. Don't forget it, if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Remember that if you're interested in trying Pandora FMS Enterprise, you can contact us to get a free 30-day trial. Thank you very much for your time and we hope to see you in future tutorials. Bye!